Okay, so we have to talk about Google DeepMind's new model, Genie 3. And look, this isn't just another AI video generator. We're talking about creating entire, interactive worlds from scratch, just from an idea. It's a total game changer for how we think about digital reality. You know, this quote from one of the lead researchers really nails it. There's this genuine sense of magic, right? The team said that the first time they actually walked around inside one of these generated worlds, it was just a moment of pure awe. I mean, just think about that. Speaking a reality into existence and then stepping inside. That's the vibe we're digging into here.
So the big question is, how did we even get to this point? For years, the dream has been to create these digital worlds that you can actually interact with, not just watch. But the tech, it just wasn't there yet. To really get why Genie 3 is such a huge deal, we've got to look at what we were working with before.
All right, so the old way of doing things was, well, pretty passive. You'd type in a prompt and boom, you'd get back a short little video clip. But you couldn't interact with it and it often lacked any kind of consistency. Genie 3, it flips the whole script. It's a world model, so instead of just a clip, you get a whole world you can control in real time. And the most important part, it has memory. This isn't just a slightly better video generator, you guys. It's a whole different beast.
And, a breakthrough like this doesn't just happen overnight. Genie 3 is really the result of years of work. The team at Google DeepMind basically looked at all these different projects they had going on. They took the early memory stuff from Genie 2, the incredible video quality from their V2 model, and the real-time interaction from another project, and they put them all into a blender. It was like they said, okay, what happens if we just combine the best parts of everything we've built?
And that brings us to the one feature that completely blew everyone's minds, even the researchers who built the thing, and that's spatial memory. We're talking about the world's ability to remember what's in it, even when you're not looking at it. This, right here, is the secret sauce that makes these worlds feel real. I love this quote. They were hoping it would work. They planned for it, but they were still completely shocked when they saw just how well it worked. One of the researchers even said he had to go back and watch the video frame by frame just to convince himself it was real. So what was this incredible thing they saw? Well, it all came down to a really simple test. They called it the paintbrush test. So imagine this. You're controlling a character, and you have them paint a big red mark on a wall. Then, you walk that character out of the room, down a hallway, you look around, and then you walk back. Now, with any older model, that wall would be blank again. The world would have just forgotten. But with Genie 3, the paint is still there. The world remembered. That's object permanence, and it is a huge deal. And they've actually put a number on it. Right now, Genie 3 can hold onto this memory, this consistency, for over a full minute. And it's doing this while generating the world in real time. Now, okay, a minute might not sound like a lifetime, but going from zero memory to over a minute of persistent memory, that's an absolutely massive technical jump.
So how is it even doing this? Well, the key thing to understand is that the memory is emergent. What that means is Genie 3 isn't building a super detailed 3D map in the background. It's not cheating. It's just generating one frame after another, and the consistency, the memory, just sort of appears as a natural result of its training. And that's so important because it means the model can create any world, not just ones it's been specifically shown.
All right, so the tech is obviously incredible, but the big question is, so what? Why does this actually matter? What can we do with an AI that can spin up interactive worlds on the fly? Okay, this is where it gets really, really cool. What's just wild is that Genie 3 seems to have this intuitive grasp of how the world is supposed to work. It just knows that skiing downhill is faster. It figures out that if a character runs into a big blue blob of pixels, it should probably start swimming. They even had it generate a dog from just a text description, and it was so realistic that the owner of the dog was just floored. It's like it understands the unspoken rules of reality or even of a cartoon world. And when you have a model that gets it like that, the possibilities are just endless. For robotics, you've got an infinite, safe playground to train robots. For gaming, you could just describe a game you want to play, and there it is. Think about education, or even therapy. You could practice a public speaking gig to get over your fears, or walk through an ancient city to learn history. It's basically a brand new canvas for anyone who creates.
Let's double-click on robotics for a second, because this is a really big one. One of the toughest problems in AI is what they call the sim-to-real gap. Basically, it's easy for a robot to work in a perfect, clean computer simulation, but the real world is messy and unpredictable. Genie 3 could be the bridge over that gap. It gives you a training ground that's way more realistic, letting a robot learn and make mistakes safely, over and over, before you ever put it in the real world. Okay, so when you have technology this powerful, it's hard not to get a little philosophical, right? It kind of forces you to ask some really big questions about, well, about reality. But let's pull back for a second. The researchers themselves are the first to say, hey, hold on. As amazing as Genie 3 is, they are still, in their words, very far from being able to simulate our actual reality. I mean, our world is just infinitely complex and rich. So this is an absolutely mind-blowing first step, but we've still got a long way to go.
Which, of course, brings us right back to that big, crazy question. Are we living in a simulation? I mean, if we're starting to build these worlds ourselves, doesn't it make you wonder? When one of the researchers was asked this, he had a pretty fascinating take. He said, what if we are in a simulation, and all the weird, confusing rules of quantum physics are just the hardware limitations of the computer that's running our universe? Yeah, chew on that for a while.